And joining me now to speak more about this welcome development in tackling the pandemic is a health expert, Dr. Tuyi Mebawandu. Good to have you join us, Dr. Mebawandu.
Thank you.
It's a historic moment yesterday when we saw Margaret Keenan become the first woman and the first person ever to receive the coronavirus pandemic. But we know that this is the first shot she just received, and there is a 3 weeks interval before she will receive the next shot. So to talk to us, what is it? Where does immunity begin? I mean, it seems that she has 3 weeks interval between the first and the second. So when does it begin, and how long does it last?
Right. Again, it's a welcome moment. The world is happy, but I'm not sure whether Nigeria is included in this happiness. Now, the vaccine is given. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is an messenger RNA vaccine. So what the first dose is given now, and by the second week, the person starts developing immunity, start building the immunity. Actually, is to actually recognize the spikes that the virus uses to enter the human body. The vaccine is given to the muscles, and then the body starts building the immune system. By the time the second dose is given after 3 weeks, which is the 21st day, and by the time you get to the 4th week, 28 days, the whole the immune system is primed, ready to prevent against COVID vaccine infection. So now, the next question is that how long does it last? You know, it's an ongoing process. We cannot categorically put our feet down and say that this is how long this thing lasts for now. But we know that there's a protection first and foremost. Is it a lifelong protection? We cannot say that yet.
Well, is it possible, sorry to cut in, but is it possible that for someone like Margaret Keenan, who are taking the first shot, when she takes the second shot, is it possible that we're going to hear at some point that she needs to take another vaccine to protect herself? That's
what I'm saying exactly. But for that to protect, I mean, you can be sure that at least for the next 1 year, she's covered, she's okay after completing the second dose of the vaccine. So, but what will happen subsequently is still a subject of research. But now, let's look at it. 69 million people infected worldwide, more than 1.5 million deaths, you know, and we still have about 16 million active cases walking around the world. Now, and we're seeing that the hospital system is being crushed, you know, by this extent of this pandemic. So now it is proper for us to put a stopgap into this spread of the virus, and the vaccine provides us the opportunity,
stopgap.
Yes, to actually do that and have a deeper understanding.
Which is where my next question is going to come from, because you made a comment earlier about you don't know if Nigeria will have access to this vaccine, because we know that vaccines are quite difficult to produce, because the first one has to be as effective, has to be exactly the same as the next one, and it makes it very difficult to produce. And then we have a situation where supply is always never meets the demand. So what happens now to low-income and middle-income countries like Nigeria and Africa as a whole?
Most likely they have to look for NGOs, the Gavis and the CEPIs of this world and the biggest of this world to help them mobilize funds. First of all, you need to mobilize funds to get the vaccine, because let's face it, it takes money, effort to develop vaccine. Of course, and then secondly, there's a huge logistic problem, especially with these Pfizer vaccines, -70 degrees centigrade. And then where are you going to get that done in Nigeria and deploy the vaccine appropriately? Ordinary polio vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, we cannot give appropriately. It takes a lot of effort for us to get to this level of being certified polio-free because of inability to give another vaccine. Now, when you are faced with this kind of huge logistic, you don't have money, you don't have human resources. The temperature is you have to store in a special temperature, and you have to deliver 2 doses of those vaccines. Is a huge issue. I was thinking that by now, Nigeria will have started discussion on how to deal with this vaccine. And don't forget, there's a difference between having an efficacious vaccine and effective vaccine. Yes, in the laboratory, 95%, but how are we going to accept it? You know that we are in a country where a lot of religious belief holds sway. We're given to magical thinking. No, it's not my portion. God will not let it happen.
And I want to really pick up on that with you, because a lot of people are already saying that they are not going to take this vaccine. Again, you mentioned religious beliefs, but there are also people who say the speed at which this vaccine was processed and all other vaccines in human, 50 of them in human trials at this moment, that they are worried at the speed at which they are processed. What would you say to that?
Why are they worried? They should bring science. Listen, you see, they should bring the science. With the science that produces the vaccine says that, yes, this is one of the few first time we're using mRNA vaccines in humans. But let me tell you what the messenger RNA does. Simple. You inject it into the human body, it now stimulates the immune system to recognize those spikes. after it's done its work, it disappears. A few days after, it disappears from your body. It's not going to hang there. It's just like you trying to build this studio now and use your hammer, needle, and everything. You pack your hammer away after and then make the place for usage. The mRNA vaccine cannot enter the nucleus. It doesn't enter the gene. And I expect government to have started serious discussion and education on why this vaccine must be taken. And then look at it. For instance, the first thing we really want to give these vaccines to are health workers. Nobody will want to, depict or reduce the number of health workers or deplete the number of health workers in the world, because health workers has become another clear-cut instrument of defining your development in a way. So nobody wants to deplete the number of health workers by just giving them experimental vaccine. The vaccine works. People should forget, because religion and science, we are always quarreling. Right. So we need to have a meeting point and understand that science takes decisions based on clear-cut evidence.
Right. So we will continue to see how this plays out in coming days. First doses are being rolled out in Britain, America, at any time soon. So we'll see how this plays out. Medical expert Dr. Tuyim Bebawadu, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.